want to give you guys some updates, to give you some encouragement, and to just close out the year, begin to close out the year and set the tone for the new year. Y'all know my favorite saying is you set the tone for your day, year, and life. Make it a great one. If we have not met, my name is Keandra Ward. I'm the founder of the KWI Collective. We are a marketing, public relations, and media firm located here in Tampa, Florida. I am working through two computers, so if you see me going, my face going from here to here, it's because I am making sure I have my notes over here and you guys are here, and I want to make sure that I give you all that I have planned to give you today. So today we're talking about putting respect on your name. Okay. Put some respect. Let me get this light better. Sorry, guys. Put some respect on your name. Now, this came about because I was watching something and somebody was they were going off. They was like, y'all better put respect on my name. Y'all better put respect on my name. And I'm thinking, I used to think that too. People be trying me. Okay. Y'all better put some respect on my name. But then that sweet, soft, gentle voice said to me, but do you put respect on your own name? Baby, that thing hit, and that thing hit hard. I said, I don't. Do I really put respect on my name? We all go through that. People try me and they better put respect on my name and da da da. And I said, ooh, I don't put respect on my name. So what I did, you guys know that I'm a thinker and I'm also an action taker. So the moment that I realized that I had not been putting respect on my name, I got a pad and I started writing down ways that I realized that I've disrespected my own name. Let that sit. Ways that I have disrespected and not validated my own name. And so some of the things is I have sabotaged my own credibility. I know that I know what I know, and I know that I'm good at what I do, right? I know that I'm good at what I do, and I know that I know what I know, right? I've seen the results not only for myself but for others. But I would subconsciously sabotage my own credibility, downplayed my gifts. I have always been like, oh, it's not like, let me be very clear. When it comes to some of the things, hey, Ernest, when it comes to some of the things that I do, I have truly downplayed my gifts. And really just, I have acted as if I'm not as good as I am. Let me be very clear. In the things that I am designed to be good at, I'm not great at everything, right? But I am educated in some things and I am good at what I do in those areas, but I have downplayed it. And I don't, and I'm still in the works of trying to understand why I am downplaying. Why have I downplayed myself in some areas, right? And then another thing that I have done, and now I'm gonna tell you where this came from. This came from being active in church. For those who are not aware, I am a licensed minister, ordained prophet. I am not fully active in church anymore, but for years, for a lot of my years, I was highly active in church, right? And so I began to shrink to make other people feel comfortable with who I am. And let me tell you how I did that. Okay. Let me tell you some of the ways that I would shrink. If you guys know me and you follow me and you I have two pages. If you go to my other page and scroll down, you'll see for years I've had purple hair. I've had purple hair since I was in high school. Like I've always had purple hair. And getting in church, getting in ministry, and beginning to preach and speak, I was told, they wouldn't say it, but they would insinuate, me having purple hair could, shift something, or make people feel a certain way. And then I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, right? It's cold a lot more than it is hot in Cleveland. So when we get to Florida, it's hot here. So it's very rare. Nowadays I have a sweater with me, but I always have something. You will see me, if you see me online with a jacket on, that's because I put the jacket on because I probably have something, that is showing my shoulders. And I did this today for this simple reason, to show you guys. Like, this is how I dress. Like, my shoulders all the way out. My friend says, there she go with her warm shoulders out. Because listen, it's hot outside. And I'd be like, y'all ain't hot. So so people would always say, now at church, of course, I wouldn't come like this, but people would always, I had sleeveless. I had a lot of sleeveless stuff and I'd have sweaters. And so people would say stuff about that. And so I began to really shrink. Even in business, they are looking at the wrong stuff, aren't they, Ernest? I would even shrink because people saw my talent in business as well during that time, and it was still being cultivated and developed. And so let me tell y'all, they tried to kill that. They tried to kill the part of me that they saw that I did not see. And you got to always be prepared for it. Sometimes other people will see more in you than you see in yourself. And you have to understand that there's still a growth pattern. And you got to watch that. You got to watch that in some ways. So these are some of the ways that I began to sabotage myself. I began to wonder why my business started feeling unaligned. Like everything wasn't aligned all the way and it was misaligned. I felt heavy. I felt inconsistent because I was trying to do things that I felt other people thought I should be doing versus what I wanted to be doing or what I should have been doing or what God had called me to truly do in this space. And that was to make people feel comfortable. Then the other part of me actually sabotaging it is I got tired of people copying. Okay, so I am a creative, right? And so God always downloads ideas and concepts to me, not always for me. I always ask him when he gives me a concept, is this for me or for someone else? Because I will pull something out of a hat for somebody else and it'd be real good. And not myself. But then I would post something or start a trend that's designed for me, and then people would copy that exact thing. And it was so disheartening to me. I'm like, so y'all telling me that God can't give y'all nothing, that he can't give you no ideas, so that became disheartening. So then I began to get quiet. I'm not saying nothing until it's fully developed, or I'm not saying anything, or I'll do pieces, but if you're in my private space and in my private group, then you get it all, because I don't care no more. Listen, at this point, what God has for you, you had to understand what God has for you is for you. And if he downloaded it to you, let me be very clear that there is an action in the way that he's given it to you that is like none else. And so I just pray for those people that don't have the faith to believe that God can be as creative with them as he is with me, right? And so that was a way that I began to stop putting respect on my name by doing that. So then all of these things happened. Imposter syndrome started creeping in. I've won awards. I'm doing these things. But then when things aren't moving like I need them to move, or I just feel insecure, then I'm like, you're not even as good as you think you are. You shouldn't be doing this. Imposter syndrome. Why are you doing this? You ain't been doing it long enough, blah, blah, blah. And then anxiety began to hit, depression began to hit. And me retreating began to hit, right? Now, the crazy thing about this is all of these things began to hit. And it's at times where I am making a lot of money. I'm doing really well outside externally, but internally, I was beating myself up. And I'm talking about people didn't believe me when I said, listen, this is how I'm really feeling. Like, girl, all this stuff you doing, all this, we seen you showing up here and showing up there. And I never had a problem with doing it and showing up. My problem was the sustainability of things, because internally and intrinsically, I was self-sabotaging myself through the words and actions that I was saying to myself that I may not have never said out loud to people, but I kept saying it to myself. Someone will say, here Keandra's award-winning publicist. And then here I am. Yeah, but it's been tight and things ain't been going and things ain't been moving. I'm really not that good. This is Keandra. She is this, this, and this. And then here I am accepting the honor that they're giving me, but internally, chopping it down with my thought process and my words to myself. So I began to be the weapon formed against my own self versus an outside weapon. And so I've had to realize that, and I've had to really work through that, which is why after engaging in NLP, I decided to actually do it, because it really has helped me with my degree in industrial organizational psychology and NLP to really get to that space of the mindset and growing and the growth within the mind and rewiring your thought process around yourself, not anything else, but around yourself and some of the limiting beliefs that you have based off of work, things that have happened, love relationships that have happened, family relations that have happened that have caused you uh, to not believe, that have caused you to limit your faith. And the thing I used to always say, and then that's a whole nother thing. Your words. I used to always say, I can really believe for others, but I can't really believe it for myself. Now that's me speaking negatively towards myself. I could believe it for you, but not for me. Ain't that crazy? And let me not say it's crazy, but doesn't that show that there's healing that needs to happen? So it is hard to have those mental battles and have those belief battles and those trust and faith battles. And you're an entrepreneur because entrepreneurship goes up and down. And so being able to actively produce in an environment that is up and down is not stable. It breeds instability for you. And so those are some of the things that got me to the place of, okay, Keandra, it is time for you to put some respect on your own name. It is time for you to really begin to believe that you are who God has said you are, and you also are who you have curated yourself to be in the space through the work that you have done. Point blank and period. It's not that you're not capable. It's not that I'm not capable. It is not and as I put in the post, like I really stopped honoring the weight of who I really am. Like I'm bad. Like, let me be very clear. Okay. When I started going through and I started looking at it and I said, okay, now here's the other part. When you're in ministry, you don't want to act like you are you don't want it to seem like you're conceited. But there is a stark difference between being confident, because we say be confident in who God has called us to be, but then when we are confident, then we are called conceited, or we're looked at as we're conceited. It is not conceit, it is confidence, right? So we need to understand, and I'll do a live on that, the difference between the two, because we need to have a very strong understanding. If we are supposed to be confident in who God calls us to be, walking in confidence is not conceit, it is confidence. And you need to understand that. And you should not diminish or let other people diminish your confidence because maybe they are not confident, or your confidence irritates them because of whatever reason. And so being able to understand that and being able to shift in those spaces, right? So I had to decide to put respect on my own name. I don't need you to put respect on my name. I need to put respect on my own name. And that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to put respect on your own name. I want you to understand the weight of your name, the weight of your calling, the weight of who you've been assigned to, the weight of what God has called you to do. Okay, I need you to understand the weight that you carry. And yeah, sometimes it's heavy. Sometimes it can be heavy, but understand you're already qualified. Understand that you already carry a voice of authority in that region, in that area, in that dynamic, in that industry, whatever that is. And people are watching, whether you want them to or not. Especially for myself, I've put myself in position for people to watch, right? And so now I can't hide on one. I can't be like, I don't even want to do this. Let me be very clear, y'all. I wanted to shut it down. I was on Indeed. I was talking to one of the people that I work with. I was like, listen, I was on Indeed looking, okay? And then I was like, girl, close this up. You know you ain't going. You know that's not what you want to do. You know that's not where you're called to be. And so in the space of writing these things down of, who I am and what I've accomplished, then y'all know Chat GPT is my friend. I put all those things in Chat GPT and I said, hey, I want to start putting respect on my name. Okay. And I need a statement that helps me to do that I can post, that I can share, that I can read to myself. And so that I can begin to recite and listen. And so I'm going to Sorry about that, y'all. I want you, let me get back to it. So I want you to begin to put a statement for yourself. I am in the comments. I am going to post a framework that you can post in Chat GPT to use to create your statement. So mine is, I'm putting respect on my own name. I'm Keandra Ward, an award-winning publicist, business and marketing coach, workplace and organizational psychologist, holding a master's in internet marketing and recognized as an NLP practitioner, and certified as well as a growth will advisor. I equip entrepreneurs and corporations to elevate their visibility, strengthen their messaging, and step into the true brand authority. So their impact, influence, and step into their true brand authority. So their impact, influence, and income finally align. That's who I am. So my question is, who are you? It's time for you to put some respect on your own name. All right, guys. I hope this has helped. I hope that this has enlightened you. I hope that this has gotten you to thinking. And I'll make sure that I put the I'll put it in the comments so that you can copy and paste it. And I don't know why I say the script, the prompt. I'm sorry, the prompt. I'll put the prompt in here for you guys, and I'd love for you to copy and paste it. And then I'd love for you to come back to this live and post it. But then I want you to post it yourself. I'll put everything in the comments for you guys to use, and I want you to begin to put some respect on your name. I need what you have, and so does the market that you're called to serve. All right, guys. Hope you have an amazing rest of your Wednesday. Always remember that you set the tone for your day, year, and your life. Make it a great one, y'all.